A golden chariot bursts through the dawn sky, its radiant driver Apollo heralding the new day. Born on the floating island of Delos, this son of Zeus was destined for greatness from the start. His mother, Leto, found sanctuary there, escaping the wrath of jealous Hera. As Apollo grew, so did his power, becoming not just the god of the sun, but of music, prophecy, medicine, and more. Apollo's birth wasn't easy. Hera, furious at Zeus's infidelity, banned Leto from giving birth on solid ground. For 9 days and nights, Leto wandered, seeking the place to bring her children into the world. Only the floating island of Delos offered refuge. There, Leto bore twins, Apollo and Artemis. The moment Apollo was born, the island stopped drifting, anchored by the god's divine presence. As a young god, Apollo quickly showed his might. Just 4 days after his birth, he sought out Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, who forged him a bow and arrows. Armed with these divine weapons, Apollo set out to slay the mighty Python, a fearsome serpent terrorizing the people of Delphi. This monstrous creature, born from the mud left after the Great Flood, had been appointed by Hera to torment Leto during her pregnancy. Apollo's victory over the Python was more than just revenge. It was his first step in establishing order and reason in the world. On the very spot where the Python fell, Apollo established his famous oracle. The Oracle of Delphi would become the most important prophetic site in the ancient Greek world. Here Pythia, Apollo's priestess, would breathe in vapors rising from a chasm in the earth and speak his prophecies. People from all over Greece came to seek Apollo's wisdom, from kings to commoners, all hoping to glimpse their future or gain divine guidance for important decisions. Music flowed from Apollo like sunlight. His lyre, a gift from clever Hermes, became his trademark. The story goes that Hermes, as a newborn, stole Apollo's cattle. To appease his angry half-brother, Hermes crafted the lyre from a tortoise shell and gifted it to Apollo. From that moment on, Apollo's music could charm gods and mortals alike with its melodies. He became the leader of the Muses, 9 goddesses who inspired art and science. Under Apollo's guidance, they brought beauty and creativity to the world, enriching mortal lives with poetry, dance, and song and love. Apollo often faced heartbreak, and his romantic pursuits became the stuff of legend. Heartbroken, Apollo made the laurel his sacred plant, declaring that it would stay green all year and that great poets and victors would be crowned with its leaves. This myth explained the use of laurel wreaths in Greek culture, while also serving as a cautionary tale about the limits of even divine power in matters of the heart. Apollo's love for the youth Hyacinthus ended in tragedy too, showcasing the god's more tender side. Apollo and Hyacinthus were playing discus when a jealous wind god, Zephyrus, blew Apollo's discus off course, striking and killing the young man. Devastated, Apollo refused to let Hades claim Hyacinthus. From the youth's blood, Apollo created the hyacinth flower, forever remembering his lost love. Apollo's arrows could bring swift death or miraculous healing, showing his dual nature as a god of both destruction and restoration. During the Trojan War, he sided with Troy, sending a terrible plague to the Greek camp with his arrows. This act showcased Apollo's fearsome power and his willingness to intervene in mortal affairs. But he was also a healer and protector. He taught the art of medicine to humans, showing them how to heal wounds and cure diseases. This knowledge was a double-edged sword, as it gave humans power over life and death, blurring the line between mortal and divine capabilities. Apollo's son, Asclepius, became so skilled at healing that he could even raise the dead, a power that ultimately led to his downfall. Apollo, enraged at the loss of his son, retaliated by killing the Cyclops who had forged Zeus's thunderbolts. This myth highlighted the complex relationships between gods and their offspring, as well as the delicate balance between divine gifts and mortal limitations. Every day, Apollo drove his sun chariot across the sky, bringing light to the world. This wasn't just about making daytime. It symbolized bringing knowledge and truth to humanity. This duality was central to Greek thought, with Apollo embodying the ideal of moderation and self-knowledge, famously encapsulated in the Delphic maxim, "Know thyself." At Delphi, Apollo's influence was supreme. The oracle there could make or break kings, start or prevent wars. Its cryptic prophecies shaped the course of history. Leaders wouldn't make big decisions without consulting Apollo first. The oracle's influence extended far beyond Greece, with people coming from all over the known world to seek Apollo's wisdom. Even the timing of the ancient Olympic Games was set by his oracle, showing how deeply Apollo's worship was integrated into Greek society. The power of the Delphic oracle was demonstrated in many famous myths and historical accounts. When Croesus, the wealthy king of Lydia, asked if he should go to war against Persia, the oracle replied that if he did, a great empire would fall. Croesus took this as a good omen and attacked, only to see his own empire destroyed. Apollo wasn't just about high culture and prophecy. He was the patron of young men, watching over them as they grew into adults. This role was particularly important in Greek society, where the transition from youth to manhood was marked by specific rituals and expectations. Athletes prayed to him for victory, and his festivals were times of great celebrations, filled with music, poetry, and athletic contests. The Pythian Games, held at Delphi in Apollo's honor, were second only to the Olympics in importance. Despite his power and perfection, Apollo had his flaws. His temper could be terrible, and his punishments often seemed to outweigh the offenses against him. When King Midas preferred Pan's music to his, Apollo gave the king donkey ears, a humiliating transformation that spoke to the god's vanity and vindictiveness. He turned Niobe's children to stone, which he boasted of having more kids than his mother Leto, a horrific act that showed the dangers of hubris when dealing with the gods. These tales reminded Greeks that even the most beautiful and wise god could be dangerous if disrespected, teaching the importance of humility and proper reverence for the divine. As the god of truth, Apollo couldn't lie, but his prophecies were often tricky and misleading. This taught Greeks to think carefully about the future and not take divine words at face value. The story of Oedipus, who fulfilled a terrible prophecy in his attempts to avoid it, showed how Apollo's truths could be inescapable yet not always clear. It showed that even with godly guidance, humans had to use their own wisdom to navigate life's challenges. Apollo's twin sister Artemis was his other half in many ways. Where he was the sun, she was the moon. He watched over young men, she protected young women. Together, they showed the balance of male and female divine power in Greek thought. Their relationship was one of the closest among the Olympian gods, and they often acted in concert. When Niobe insulted their mother, both Apollo and Artemis took revenge. This twin relationship highlighted the Greek understanding of complementary forces in nature and society. As a patron of the arts, Apollo inspired countless works of poetry, music, and visual art. The famous statue of Apollo Belvedere, thought to be a Roman copy of a Greek bronze original, captured the god's physical perfection and serene power. Poets like Pindar and Callimachus wrote hymns in his honor, praising his beauty and his many gifts to humanity. In later centuries, Apollo would continue to inspire artists and writers, from Renaissance painters to romantic poets, each generation finding new meaning in his myths. Apollo's role in Greek colonization was significant. He was believed to guide the establishment of new cities, and many colonial expeditions consulted his oracle before setting out. The city of Cyrene in North Africa, for example, was founded on Apollo's instructions. This connection to colonization tied Apollo to the spread of Greek culture and civilization around the Mediterranean, making him a symbol of Greek identity and expansion. The god's association with light went beyond the physical sun to represent enlightenment and knowledge. In this aspect, he was known as Apollo Phoebus, the bright or pure one. This connection to purity and light made Apollo a patron of moral and spiritual cleansing. Those who had committed crimes or were ritually impure would seek purification at his temples, showing how Apollo's influence extended into the realms of ethics and social order. Apollo's festivals were times of great importance in the Greek calendar. The Pythian Games at Delphi, held every 4 years, included not just athletic contests, but also competitions in music, poetry, and drama. These celebrations brought together Greeks from all city-states, fostering a sense of shared culture and identity. In Athens, the Thargelia festival honored Apollo alongside his sister Artemis, marking the ripening of the first fruits of summer and including rituals of purification for the city. In his role as a protector, Apollo was often called upon to avert evil. The epithet Alexikakos, averter of evil, was used in prayers asking for his protection against disease, invasion, or other calamities. This protective aspect was balanced by his potential for destruction, as seen in his sending of plagues. The dual nature of Apollo as both a healer and a bringer of disease reflected the Greek understanding of the natural world as a place of both beauty and danger. Apollo's oracle at Delphi played a crucial role in Greek politics and diplomacy. City-states would consult the oracle before making major decisions, and its approval could legitimize actions from declaring war to founding colonies. The oracle's influence extended beyond Greece, with even foreign rulers seeking its counsel. This made Delphi a center of international relations in the ancient world, with its treasury filled with gifts from grateful consultants from across the Mediterranean. In the realm of philosophy, Apollo came to represent the power of reason and logic. The philosopher Plato associated Apollo with the realm of ideal forms, the ultimate truths behind physical reality. As Greek culture spread and mingled with others, Apollo's worship took on new forms. In Rome, he was adopted into the pantheon and associated with healing and prophecy. The Romans built a great temple to Apollo on the Palatine Hill, making him one of the most important gods in their state religion. In Egypt, he was linked with Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sun, creating syncretic deities that blended Greek and Egyptian elements. The enduring appeal of Apollo lies in his embodiment of human ideals and aspirations. His beauty represents the aesthetic perfection we admire, his wisdom the knowledge we seek, and his music the art that moves our souls. In the end, Apollo represented the Greek ideal of perfection, a god of light in all its forms, physical, intellectual, and spiritual. His beauty, wisdom, and talents made him a god to aspire to, an embodiment of the heights humanity could reach. But his stories also warned about the dangers of hubris and the unpredictable nature of the gods. Through Apollo, Greeks explored ideas about art, knowledge, and the delicate balance between human achievement and divine power.